building a society that is based on occupation, based on oppressing someone else, means always creating violent patterns of behavior, making aggression to be normal mode of life. So I think starting the state by taking the land from someone else and had them leave, had them go to exile, means a very, very violent start of establishing the state. Although nobody told this story to us, I mean, my children don't learn it in school, that we started from such a violent and aggressive and unjust start, makes a very violent society. And what happens now is that violence exists everywhere. I mean, violence against women are very high now in Israel. Marginalization of handicapped people, of old people, of Holocaust victims. Think about this, that all this state has this ethos of building on the Holocaust. I mean, coming from independentship after the Holocaust, and you should come and see how poor and lonely are our Holocaust survivors. Even, soldiers that wounded are not treated well by the state. So the sense of the process of marginalization exists if you're not strong, healthy, rich, white male, you are outside of the fence. So and not to talk about immigrants, not to talk about people that come from Africa, refugees that come from Africa, about new immigrants that the Israeli state bring to the state, push them and pull them away from their countries, from all over the world, to come and live in Israel and build a demographic existence, build a number of Jews, so to maintain the majority, the Jewish majority. Even them are treated very well. They are very poor. There is very high unemployment. Their resources are not being in use. People who come from Russia with a PhD in science can clean the streets here. So power is the game, and you can feel it in the way people talk, in the way people run their small affairs. Small affairs between neighbors can end up, or between two drivers on the street, can end up in killing. And so this is it's very, very sad. It's very sad to build new society that is so violent at all time. The women do play a special role in the anti-war movement, in the anti-Iraq riots, the opening the siege on Gaza demonstrations. Women play a very, very strong role in the peace movement, which is very, very small now. It's not like the peace movement 10 or 15 years ago. The peace movement or the anti-militaristic movement now is very small, and I think it's run by women. In Hebrew, the word man and hero, and hero come from the same root. I mean, manhood is built on war, and there is this feminist notion that we shouldn't accept this definition of manhood or humanity. So I think this is the role of women throughout the history. I mean, we have to admit that it's not the women in Israel. I mean, it's minority, but and it's mostly women my age and older that are active in the anti-war movement. The young generation, after they go to the army and they come outside from the army, they need to leave the country for a year or two, going to India, smoking dope, cleaning their heads, what they call it, and look for themselves. Now, after they were participating in this collective, they are dealing with themselves. Now they have to study, they have to find where they are as human beings, because all these years, these important years of understanding what's going on around them, of learning their society around them, is being misused by the army service. So then they start to go into the business of going to school and all this, and I think internet and being busy with computers and MP3 and the computer and television occupies their mind and brainwash them. So there is very little I feel not satisfactory amount of activists nowadays in Israel. What happens here is that since Israel refused peace, it enabled this all this industry of war and nationalism to maintain it. Because let's imagine that we solve the problem with the Palestinians. Now we have to start with the real issues, with economical issues, with gender issues. So the leaders of Israel have a very strong interest in maintaining war, so they can continue control people and continue this economical benefit of controlling people, of controlling, of making economical profit by maintaining this violent situation. So there is a strong connection between capitalism, between war and social structure. Also here in Israel, army become a business of low-class people. The Bedouins and the Druze that are going to the army because they have very small opportunities outside, and it's impossible for them to integrate into the Israeli society and the job into the market. So they go to the army. Since they speak Arabic, they do the dirty job of oppressing the Palestinians. And then they go to the outside of the army and realize that nobody's waiting for them outside. Neo-capitalism of the last 5 years or so breaks down society to the level that, first of all, there is so much poverty, so much lack of good education, that you can manipulate people very easily. You can, I think your bus is arriving. I see this green bus, and it might be your bus. I think it's